Hey, good evening everybody. Sammy Thunder here. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight's video, I'm going to try to get it before the deadline. That's the VR special video for Wade Boggs fan, John. John has a quest for us, and I've seen a lot of videos so far, and it's really intriguing to see some of the selections people are making. John wants us to pick out a card that we cannot live without. And I'd imagine it's incredibly challenging to try to find that one card that you can't live without because I'd imagine that decision probably changes by day. Depends on the mood, depends on what you're watching maybe that day, maybe a special event in sports, who knows what the case may be. That being said, I hope I'm not breaking any protocols here. I thought I'd have a little bit of fun with this, but I didn't come up with a card that I thought would be one that I can live without. So I'm going to go by kind of a process of elimination chamber of cards. I have a whole stack in front of me, and what I'm going to do is I'm just not even going to look. I'm going to pick two cards. I'm going to show them on camera, and we're going to break it down tournament style to find out which one, in the moment, which one I can't live without. And we'll kind of go from there. So there's no surprise. There's going to be a lot of Willie Mays, Christy Mathewson, Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan. And we're going to go about it that way. So, John, I hope you're cool with this. I hope this can be a part of the VR for you. And if you're not subscribed to John's channel, definitely subscribe to Wade Boggs Fan. He surpassed the 1,500 subscriber mark, which is a huge milestone, and want to keep on increasing that sub count. So I'll leave a link for y'all to check his channel out. That being said, let's go with the first card. I'm not going to look. We're just going to pick two at random, and I have this, my Larry Bird SGC 8, and I have the Willie Mays SGC 2.5, which, by the way, that Willie Mays was sold to me raw from yours truly, Jake from Legends Never Die. He's going to be with me at the National, as well as potentially Drew Vintage. I think he's going to be joining as well. We're going to be hanging out. There's going to be a lot of fun. So, tough call between these two. Larry Bird came from the Baltimore shop I visited. This is what got me back into the hobby, but this Willie Mays is probably my favorite card. I think I could probably, it irks me to kind of put aside the Bird. Larry Legend, I apologize. You're going off to the side. Willie Mays is moving on. I can't live without this Willie Mays. Next round is coming up. I got Tom Terrific, his first year card, and got the Bill Russell. Man, what a challenge. Both are superb. Both are excellent. Just, oh man, this is a tough one. Do I love basketball legends? I mean, I think in this instance, me being baseball priority first, I'm sorry, Bill. I love the card, but I cannot live without the Tom Seaver. Go to round three. And round three, we have, good one. Got Bob Gibson, the 1959 first year Pepto-Bismol style card. And then we got the second year, or Topps first year, Willie Mays. Man, this is when I got the National. Both legendary cards in their own right. Again, I've got to give love for Willie. I love, when I picked this one up, I thought about just how special this card is, and I also thought about Vintage Sanctuary Adam when he picked his up, which was graded an A authentic, but then got resubbed, and I think he got a 2 or a 2.5 on it. So what a huge upgrade. So I am going to go with Willie Mays Topps 52, moving on to the next round. All right, we're gonna switch things up. I'm gonna pick out. Man, this is a tough call. Got the 52, was it 53, right? Oh, 51, way off. 51 stand-up. This is actually a battle of the perforations here. The 51 stand-up, I'm sorry it's not getting in focus for you. There we go. the Christy Mathewson of the Connie Mack All-Stars. And here I have the stand-up Willie Mays. Both are so special looking. Man, oh man. It's a tough call. But in this instance, I think I have to go with the Christy Mathewson. Yeah, I got to go with Christy on this one. I'm going to put aside the 64 stand-up Willie Mays. Mathewson will move on. And finally, last round, Battle of the Seaver Ryan second year cards. Both are very special. Seaver, Seaver. It's just so hard to find these cards centered, and this is a nice beauty of him. I remember seeing this card all the time when I was a kid at the card shows, and the Nolan Ryan as well. I got this one off of eBay, I remember. This Nolan Ryan card is my absolute favorite of his, and it's one of my favorites, in the collection. So as much as I love Seaver, I'm going to put him aside and put the Nolan Ryan in for the next round. And finally, it comes down to the S81 Silks of Christy Mathewson here, or it comes down to the 67 Venny, which with no paper loss other than some corner condition, which obviously maybe some of you don't know, but there were a lot of those Venny cards, Venezuelan cards, would have a lot of paper loss because they'd put them in photo albums. It would stick, obviously, from the adhesive. So to find one that has no paper loss is pretty magnificent. But there's something really beautiful about that silk screen, the silk sheets. And I know it's stained and everything, but it just has so much prestige and just unbelievable that they're able to do this. And this is over 100 years old. So I'm going to go with the silk sheet over the Venezuelan. And so now we moved on to round two. I have a total of six to pick from. So we're going to go with the Battle of the Willies. Willie Mays 52 versus 54. Willie Mays, which one do I pick from? Man, what a tough call. Everybody loves the 52 Mays because of that. It's just a deep blue, purple, or whatever color you want to call it, background. And this one I love. It's just the rounded corners just gives it so much. It makes me wonder where, like, the origins of this card versus this 54. I love both of them, but the stories that this 52 Mays must have, I'm going to stick with the Topps 52. So the 54 is going to go away. Then we move on to the Seaver rookie card, or the first year, versus the Battle of the Nolan Ryan second year. Listen, Seaver's first year card, obviously a very tough, difficult card. Not difficult, but it's a short print. And I traded up to get this 4.5. But man, I love that solo card. I got to go with the Ryan in this one. So Ryan's moving on to the finals. And finally, the Battle of the Mathewsons. We have the silk print Mathewson from 1912, and then the 51 Connie Mack. Listen, I love both of these. But in this instance, I think I still have to go with the silk. So the silk is going to the finals. So this one, could anybody up until this point predict that it was going to be the Silk Mathewson, the Nolan Ryan 69 second year, or did they think it was going to be the Willie Mays? Well, the process of elimination has brought us to this point, so I wonder if anybody has gotten it right so far. That being said, I'm going to knock out one right now. I love the Nolan Ryan, but as much as I love Nolan Ryan, he's a PC guy. Mathewson, I gotta stick with the New York Giants loyalty here, even though the Mets were born out of the ashes of both the Dodgers and the Giants. So Nolan, even you were a big part of the New York Mets legacy, winning a World Series, but you're a finalist. 69 Topps card is a finalist, so he's going to be put aside. Comes down to the 52 Willie and the 1912 Mathewson. And I think, honestly, looking at both of them, I marvel at the amazement again of the 1912 Silks, but I also appreciate the golden era, the golden age, and the the hobby popularity of the 1952 set and what a Willie Mays card means to a collector. But and I value and cherish that card, I have to go on the side of just uniqueness and rarity, and I'm going to stick with this Silk Mathewson being the ace in the hole for being the card, or I don't know if you call it a card. Maybe I'm a little bit not not abiding by the rules directly, but this collectible piece, the Mathewson, I'll have to stick with. If we're going by cards, then the Willie wins because this is actually obviously a legit card, but the Mathewson still kind of wins the race here. So again, John, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity, for coming up with such a creative idea to do a item or collectible or card that you can't live without in your collection. I bent the rules a little bit, and I hope you're okay with that. And again, if you're new to my channel, or first and foremost, if you haven't heard of Wade Boggs Fan John's channel, please subscribe and get him further ahead. And if you want to, you can also subscribe to my channel here. But thank you guys so much. Just so you know, the plans for the weekend, I will be selling in Milford, Connecticut on Sunday. And if you're in the area, I'd love to see some of y'all. It's not too far from. It's like maybe an hour and a half drive from Massachusetts. But anyway, let's see some familiar faces. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you all have a great start to your weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care.